vulnerability. The human emotional architecture is fundamentally paradoxical, predicated on the structural interdependence of states historically viewed as mutually exclusive. The equations love equals fear and security equals vulnerability provide a conceptual framework for understanding the essential tensions within human development, social bonding, and existential stability. Far from being binary opposites, love and fear function as co-constitutive elements of the human experience, where the depth of an affectional bond is measured by the catastrophic potential of its withdrawal. Similarly, psychological security is not achieved through defensive insulation but through the radical exposure of the self to the possibility of harm, a state of intentional vulnerability. This report examines these dualities through the synthesis of evolutionary biology, attachment theory, existential philosophy, and classical literature, demonstrating that the pursuit of a life devoid of fear or vulnerability is, in clinical and philosophical terms, a pursuit of a life devoid of genuine love or security. The evolutionary and neurobiological foundations of emotional duality. Love and fear were forged by the same fundamental evolutionary processes that permitted life on Earth. Both are deeply interwoven with the adaptive management of stress and disease, serving as primitive responses necessary for survival and reproduction. In the evolutionary context, fear serves as a protective mechanism against environmental threats, while love, manifested through selective social bonds, provides the trust and perceived safety required for the preservation of the species. These emotions share common roots in the neuroendocrine system, specifically within the regulation of endocrine, autonomic, and immune functions across the lifespan. The oxytocin system is a regulatory mechanism. The peptide hormone oxytocin represents the most recently evolved component of the mammalian social bonding system. It possesses unique functions that parallel the psychological experience of love, regulating cellular inflammation and modulating the brain's response to threat. Research in the 21st century confirms that oxytocin receptors are significantly altered by early social experiences, creating a biological feedback loop where love and fear are inextricably linked. When a child experiences security, the oxytocin system thrives. When they experience uncertainty or neglect, the system is primed for chronic fear and vigilance. The neurobiology of safety and threat. The paradox of security equals vulnerability finds its physiological basis in the interaction between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. The amygdala, the brain's primary threat detector, is hyper-responsive to emotional risk. If an individual's past disclosures were met with shame, the amygdala activates a fight, flight, or freeze response when they attempt to be vulnerable in the present. Conversely, the polyvagal theory, developed by Stephen Porges, highlights the role of the ventral vagal system in supporting social engagement and calm states when the nervous system detects safety and connection. The awareness paradox further complicates this neurobiological landscape. Intellectualizing emotional experiences can blunt emotional processing, as the prefrontal cortex may use therapy speak to distance the individual from the visceral experience of vulnerability. Emerging research suggests that prematurely explaining an emotion can lock the brain into rigid neural patterns that limit emotional integration and learning. True emotional transformation relies on repeated experiences of safety and co-regulation, such as tone of voice and physical orientation, which often matter more than the intellectual resolution of a conflict. Biological system, primary function, relation to love-fear paradox oxytocin system, regulation of social bonds and trust, mitigates fear but is weakened by early chronic threat. Amygdala, detection of physical and social danger, perceives vulnerability as a high-stakes survival risk. Prefrontal cortex, rationalization and regulation of emotion, can create an awareness paradox by distancing feelings through logic. Ventral vagal system, supports social engagement and calm, only activates when the environment is perceived as safe for vulnerability. Attachment theory, the architecture of love is fear of loss. Attachment theory, established by John Bowlby and expanded by Mary Ainsworth, provides a lifespan model of human development that posits love as a mechanism for managing fear and uncertainty. Bowlby challenged the cupboard love theory, the idea that infants only attach to caregivers for food, demonstrating instead that attachment arises from a biological need for comfort and security. In this framework, love is fundamentally defined by the fear of separation. The secure base and internal working models. At the core of attachment theory is the secure base, a caregiver who provides a sense of safety that empowers a child to explore the world. This secure base serves as a safe haven, offering protection during distress. Paradoxically, the child's feeling of security is entirely dependent on their vulnerability to the caregiver's presence. Internal working models are the internalized beliefs about self-worth and the reliability of others formed through these early interactions. If a caregiver is sensitive and responsive, the child perceives themselves as lovable. If the caregiver is unpredictable, the child develops an insecure model where love is synonymous with an anticipation of loss. Stages and styles of attachment. The development of attachment occurs in specific chronological stages, beginning with asocial responses and culminating in a reciprocal relationship where the child understands the caregiver's return, thereby decreasing separation anxiety. Ainsworth's Strange Situation Protocol identified distinct attachment styles that influence adult romantic relationships, where the partner becomes a primary regulator of emotion and fear. Attachment style. Mechanism of love. Manifestation of fear. Secure. Confidence in partner availability and trust. Adaptive grief in response to separation. Insecure avoidant. Prioritization of independence over closeness. Fear of engulfment or loss of autonomy. Insecure ambivalent. Intense craving for intimacy and validation. Chronic fear of abandonment and rejection. Disorganized. Conflicting impulses of approach and withdrawal. Paradoxical templates where care is mixed with harm. In adult romantic relationships, the same attachment behaviors observed in infancy, such as seeking closeness and feeling insecure when the other is inaccessible, persist. For some adults, the fear of losing love is so crippling that it spooks the soul, disrupting the ability to receive affection. Intense relationship anxiety often leads to behaviors that manipulate or restrict a partner, which are motivated by fear rather than love. The ontology of vulnerability. Security through exposure. The equation security equals vulnerability is most robustly explored in the work of Brené Brown, who defines vulnerability not as a weakness but as the courage to be seen, when there are no guarantees. Through social scientific research involving 11,000 pieces of data, Brown concluded that vulnerability is the core of all meaningful human experiences, including love, belonging, and joy. The wholehearted and the armor of false security. Brown's coding of data revealed a stark distinction between individuals who live with a strong sense of worthiness, wholehearted, and those who struggle for it. The wholehearted believe they are worthy of love despite being imperfect, and they prioritize creativity, rest, and play. In contrast, many individuals employ armor, perfectionism, judgment, and exhaustion to protect themselves from the perceived threat of vulnerability. This armor creates a false sense of security that eventually leads to burnout and disconnection. Shame, resilience, and the fear of disconnection. The primary concern about connection is the fear of disconnection, the belief that one's flaws make them unworthy of belonging. Shame is the formidable emotion that drives this fear, operating through internal narratives of not good enough. Shame resilience is developed by understanding vulnerabilities and cultivating empathy and compassion. Without the courage to be vulnerable, individuals numb their hard feelings, but in doing so, they also numb their capacity for joy and love. Behavior category. Characteristics of the wholehearted. Characteristics of the armored. Perception of self. Inherent worthiness despite imperfections. Worthiness measured by productivity and perfection. Handling uncertainty. Leaning into discomfort. Seeking certainty. Performing. Behavior category. Characteristics of the wholehearted. Characteristics of the armored. Embracing risk and proving. Relational strategy. Vulnerability is the glue of connection. Walls of denial, anger, and comparison. Emotional output. Courage, empathy, and innovation. Shame, exhaustion, and stagnation. Existential dimensions. The terror of love and the gaze of the other. Existentialist philosophy provides the metaphysical substrate for the claim that love equals fear. For thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Soren Kierkegaard, human existence is characterized by a structural tension between the self and the other, where love represents a fundamental threat to individual autonomy. Sartre and the look of the other. Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of the look, le regard, posits that being observed by another person transforms the individual from a subject with infinite possibilities into an object with a fixed identity. This objectification is described as a threat to the arrangement of your whole world, as the individual becomes aware of being perceived through values they cannot control. In the social realm, this leads to an adversarial coexistence where hell is other people, a state where the watchful gaze of the other alienates the individual and deprives them of their freedom. In romantic relationships, this terror is amplified. The lover wants to be the object of the beloved's choice, yet they fear the look that reveals their true, unpolished self. To love is to accept the transcendent terror of being seen, stripped of the ego's flattering self-image, and laid bare in one's inadequacies. Kierkegaard, Faith, and the Absurd. Soren Kierkegaard, through his pseudonym Johannes de Silentio, explores the binding of Isaac, in Fear and Trembling as the ultimate model of the paradox of faith and love. Kierkegaard argues that faith is a monstrous paradox, where the individual transcends the universal, social norms and ethics, to enter a subjective relationship with the divine or the beloved. This journey is characterized by fear and trembling, as it requires a teleological suspension of the ethical, and a leap of faith into uncertainty. Kierkegaard distinguishes between infinite resignation, the philosophical acceptance of loss, and faith, which requires acting on the absurd hope that what is sacrificed will be returned. For Kierkegaard, a love that is not accompanied by this shudder of thought is merely an aesthetic or social convention, whereas true love is a deathly fear of the responsibility inherent in one's freedom of choice. Erich Fromm and the Art of Relational Independence. Erich Fromm bridges the gap between psychoanalysis and existentialism by arguing that the ability to be alone is the condition for the ability to love. Fromm suggests that the need to love arises from our separateness and the anxiety it generates. Most people seek love as a solution to existential loneliness, viewing it as a passive sentiment or a bargain in a labor market of social values. True love, according to Fromm, is an artistic practice that requires discipline, patience, and the overcoming of narcissism. He identifies 4 elements of mature love that paradoxically demand the very vulnerability and security explored by Brown. Element of love. Definition according to Fromm: relation to security, vulnerability, care. Active concern for the life and growth of the beloved. Requires the security to invest in another's growth. Responsibility. Being able to respond to the unexpressed needs of the other. Requires vulnerability to recognize and meet needs. Respect. The ability to see the other as they are, in their intrinsic value. Requires dropping the ego's defenses to see clearly. Knowledge. Understanding the core of the other person, including their suffering. Demands the look that Sartre feared. Fromm warns that symbiotic unions, where individuals lose their independence, are a form of false security. True love preserves freedom, ensuring that connection is a choice rather than a compulsion born of a fear of being alone. Literary manifestations. Security is a doll house, and love is pathological jealousy. Classic literature provides vivid examples of the catastrophic failure of false security and the tragic link between love and fear. Through the works of Henrik Ibsen, William Shakespeare, and Fyodor Dostoevsky, the narrative implications of these paradoxes are explored with surgical precision. Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House, The Liberation from False Security. In A Doll's House, Nora Helmer begins as a young, submissive lady who enjoys being patronized and pampered by her husband, Torvald. She exists in a state of perceived security, defined by her roles in a patriarchal structure, effectively living like a doll in a doll house. This security is false because it depends on Nora remaining a vulnerable, presumptuous and secretive version of herself to please her husband. Nora's liberation occurs when she realizes that her marriage is a construct of performance. Her criminal act of forgery, committed to save Torvald's life, represents her first step into vulnerable authenticity. When the reality of her situation is exposed, she discovers that Torvald is a stranger, concerned only with his social prestige rather than her humanity. Her final choice to leave her family is an act of spiritual liberation, where she chooses the uncertainty of independence over the false comfort of a hollow marriage. Shakespeare's Othello, The Monstrosity of Fearful Love. William Shakespeare's Othello explores the darker side of the equation love equals fear. Othello's love for Desdemona is characterized as immature and childlike, a symbol of his social attainment rather than a deep, mutual understanding. Iago, the ultimate betrayer, exploits Othello's pathological jealousy and insecurities. The play demonstrates that jealousy is a monster that cannot grow where there is no love, yet it is this very love that makes Othello weak enough to consider the suggestion of betrayal without evidence. Othello's fear of losing Desdemona, and the subsequent fear of being a cuckold, spirals into a destructive syndrome that destroys his sanity. Shakespeare shows that a love fueled by the fear of loss, without the security of vulnerable trust, leads inevitably to tragedy. Dostoevsky, Isolation and the General Wholeness of Humanity. Fyodor Dostoevsky, particularly in The Brothers Karamazov, critiques the modern individual's pursuit of solitary wealth as a form of security. He argues that when men separate themselves into units to hide their possessions, they become madmen who fail to see that accumulation leads to suicidal impotence. This isolation causes a constant trembling and a loss of faith in humanity. Dostoevsky proposes that true security lies not in solitary effort, but in the general wholeness of humanity. In Crime and Punishment, the protagonist Raskolnikov's pursuit of a rational morality through murder leads to a total collapse of his logic and a physical illness, illustrating the failure of a security built on intellectualized detachment. Both characters eventually find meaning through the acceptance of consequence and the light of community. The fear-shame dynamic and the awareness paradox in relationships. In modern interpersonal dynamics, the coexistence of love and fear often manifests as a fear-shame dynamic. Everyone possesses a core vulnerability, an emotional state they most dread, such as the fear of harm or the shame of failure. In romantic relationships, partners frequently have different core vulnerabilities, leading to a cycle where one partner's fear avoidance triggers the other's shame avoidance. Mechanisms of conflict and repair. The fear-shame dynamic activates much faster than conscious attention, placing insight ever behind the curve. When a partner feels distressed, the other may feel like a failure and respond with controlling behavior or emotional shutdown, which appears as rejection to the first partner. This dynamic is intensified by focusing on facts in disregard of feelings, and using negative characterizations, such as needy or aloof. Relational response. Subjective feeling, lover. Objective perception, partner, avoiding fear. Self-protective, critical or controlling. Avoiding shame. Justified defensiveness. Rejecting or domineering. Intellectualization. Seeking clarity. Emotional distancing. Relational response. Subjective feeling, lover. Objective perception, partner, vulnerable disclosure. Risking hurt. Path to repair and trust. The antidote to this cycle is the deactivation of the dynamic through the sharing of core vulnerabilities rather than avoidance habits. Vulnerability is the strongest form of love, because it replaces mind reading with clarity and disarms defensiveness. Research consistently shows that repair, not the absence of conflict, predicts long-term relationship satisfaction. Sociocultural critiques. The risk asymmetry of vulnerability. A critical nuance in the discussion of security equals vulnerability is the recognition that the safety to be vulnerable is not equally distributed across all social identities. Critics of Brené Brown's framework argue that her gospel of vulnerability often reflects a position of privilege that fails the world's most vulnerable. The gender and racial dimensions of emotional risk. In leadership, vulnerability is often celebrated in white male CEOs as authenticity, whereas a black woman leader exhibiting the same vulnerability risks confirming stereotypes about competence or having her authority undermined. Research from NYU's Stern School of Business indicates that women who show emotion are judged more harshly than men, with women's tears viewed as unprofessional, and men's as passionate commitment. Furthermore, some academic perspectives argue that in high-stakes environments, such as aerospace safety or medicine, perfectionism and certainty are not pathologies, but disciplines that keep systems safe. For high performers, being enough might feel like a lullaby to mediocrity, as growth often requires managing stress rather than avoiding it. The corporate appropriation of vulnerability. Critics also point out that corporate mindfulness lingo can render deep human suffering into emotive palatability for the business class. Asking Gazans to be vulnerable while being subjected to state violence misidentifies vulnerability as a choice rather than a forced condition of suffering. A truly nuanced understanding of security equals vulnerability must account for power relations and the fact that expressions of vulnerability bear different weights depending on the speaker's social standing. Synthesis. The integration of duality. The equations love equals fear and security equals vulnerability serve as the twin pillars of a mature psychological and existential posture. They suggest that the most profound human experiences are found not in the avoidance of threat, but in the skillful navigation of it. The unified model of relational safety. True security is achieved when love, compassionate care, and awareness, mindful observation are integrated. Awareness provides the clarity of what transpires, while love defines how a change is sought, prioritizing autonomy over control. This integration supports eudaimonic well-being, a values-consistent functioning that allows individuals to build resilient, constructive relationships. Integrated concept, mechanism, existential outcome love awareness, combining non-judgment with compassionate care, psychological growth and autonomy support, strategic vulnerability, discerning safe spaces and audiences for disclosure, authentic leadership and self-preservation, presence, removing expectancy to overcome the fear of loss, experience of true love and complete calm, interbeing, recognizing the self is made of non-me elements, overcoming the ego shell to relieve suffering. Hannah Arendt's analysis of St. Augustine concludes that fearlessness is what love seeks, yet this state can only be reached through a complete calm that is not shaken by future expectations. This requires presence, the removal of expectancy, and the transformation of time into a present of remembrance. Similarly, Thich Nhat Hanh's concept of interbeing suggests that by dissolving the boundaries between